Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first race of Fatch GT Season 9 at GT3 season. We are at Kyalami today in Midrand, South Africa. 16 corners of tight, intense racing. Nice grid today, 29 cars. I am joined by former Fatch driver and current XCL Wonder Kid, Wilson Guige. How are you today, Wilson?
Yeah, very well, and you?
Yeah, all good. Ready for an exciting first round of the season. Always get the
Oh yeah,
nerves
yeah,
going.
yeah.
Never know what to expect. Lots of new drivers joining us today that I haven't seen. A certain Will Friedman, long-time XCL driver, in a late addition to the season in the Ford Mustang. Expecting big things from him.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
Usual suspects as well. We've got M. Williams, Levi Warner, Niels Baslia, Spencer Brown, Robert Smith, De Guel, all staples of Fatch League racing. So yeah, should be an interesting one today.
yeah, and a lot of people changing cars from what they're used to. Matthew Williams going to the Nissan. Um, we've got Spencer Brown in the Ferrari, I think. Will Freeman in the Mustang because he's a Porsche driver.
Usually the
Um,
Porsche, yeah.
yeah, so quite a few drivers mixing it up. So we'll see how they handle the change of car.
Well, I think we had a lot of drivers change last season just for something new. Obviously, Spencer Brown was in the Mustang, but feels like overall over the course of the season can find a lot more pace in that Ferrari. So I think he's really going to take this season seriously and trying to maximise his results. Got Niels Baslia, had a horrible time last season. I think he was in I think it was the Aston. Possibly no, it was the
Or BMW.
BMW. The
Yep.
BMW, and he absolutely hated every minute of it, and then switched to the Mustang for the last race. But you can tell he wants to fight for glory this season, switching back to his beloved Ferrari 296.
I think he's putting in his head that any other car than the Ferrari is bad. He wants to drive that Ferrari alone and nothing else. He's too
Yeah,
loyal to
we'll see what
appreciate any other
happens.
car.
We didn't actually see too many Ferraris last season. They made a little bit of a comeback. It's not so Mustang heavy this season either.
Yeah,
Obviously, the
restrictor.
restrictor being placed, in our Fatch GT seasons, which I think is warranted considering the strengths of the Mustang. You can't have acceleration and top end that high and have the best braking of any car in the game. So it is understandable. Singular Lamborghini today, that is ours. Joined us last season for the first time, back again. I believe, yeah, it should be a different experience for him in the Lamborghini.
Yeah. And
We have
only Aston Gomez. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
strong. It is a strong car. I just struggle to find out where it's strong. It doesn't feel too strong when you drive it. Not in my hands, anyway. Maybe I'm just, maybe that's a skill issue. But we'll
yeah.
see how he gets on today.
I think especially when you have multiple setups and people have driven and try hard cars, I think good setups are more available than some of on other cars. That's why you see a Lexus. The Lexus is a very good car, but you need the right setup. It's the same for the Aston. It's a
Yeah.
pretty slow car, but you need to maximize it. So
That's probably more big news. We've got a pole, and obviously, that's a pole. Don't confuse them with a table or a chair. That's very important. We've established that over the last few seasons. But usually it picks the Nissan in the
all right,
Lexus. So Lexus this season, that is a change, one to look out for. Obviously, the Lexus very strong on certain tracks, but can be an absolute handful around others. So we'll see how
yeah,
that plays out for him throughout the course of the season. Uh, yeah, should be an interesting one. We also have Jay Mason making his Fatch GT League debut. A five-star esports driver, formerly K1. It'll be interesting to see where he is. Currently, M. Williams puts the car on pole with a 41.6 and a 25 degrees ambient. That is not a bad little banker lap.
yeah. I think
Ken Thomas
the
follows
track
up.
was fast from most of these laps, so
Yeah,
throughout the session you're going to see time improving.
that's
It is
usually the
6 p.m.,
way.
so
Yeah,
temps are going
so
to go down.
it's usually the way with these short qualifying races as well. The rubber on the track being added would usually mean that the last two laps of qualifying are the quickest. So it's important to
Yeah.
get a good banker in early, but really send it during the last 5 minutes and make use of that track evolution as time
Yeah.
goes on.
get your confidence up, and smashing that lap at the end is crucial. Especially with that amount of corners in Kyalami.
Yeah, very tight corners as well.
Yeah.
Robert Smith currently finding himself in P4 in that Mustang, that gold and white livery. Is Will Friedman in the XCL purple, the world famous purple XCL colours. Heading around trying to get a time in. Obviously, bigger grid this season. Only 30 drivers arriving today, but that's still a decent number for a track like Kyalami. It is very tight. There are certain corners where two just don't go. The sausage, mainly, or whatever you want to call it. Is it the kink? I can't remember what it's called.
We'll call it the sausage.
We'll call it the sausage. I think that's what everyone knows it as.
Yeah.
The crocodile, apparently. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, no. Cheetah. Cheetah is that corner. Very South African.
Right,
So
Will
Friedman goes up into P2, yeah. 41.7. But I do
Pretty
think
good.
he was a little bit impeded on that lap. I did see a little bit of traffic. Let's see if M. Williams has managed to improve. 41.1 for M. Williams. But no, 41.6 for Williams. Levi Warner is taking pole with a 41.1. Levi Warner and M. Williams, Fatch GT drivers. They are teammates and will be racing together come January at the start of their endurance season in that Mustang. Spencer Brown, their other teammate, puts it into fourth in that Ferrari. He'd be happy driving that thing. He does love it.
Once you see the times coming down very quickly, I expect some 40s. I think M. Williams is definitely capable of it. Levi as well.
So, Williams is currently 3.5 temps up in that Nissan. I forget, it's weird seeing Williams in a Nissan, but he is making it work right now. 4 temps up, coming into Cheetah. One more corner to go. Let's see where this puts him. Yeah, you've really got to get your tyres dug into the inside of the track there, otherwise the drive up is a long one. So that is an improvement. That will keep him in second.
There's definitely
just
the
1.5 temps. Yeah.
Maybe lost 1/10 in the last corner, so you can do it very early apex trying to get the car stopped.
Let's look around the track and see. He's already. Oh, I was going to say he's 2 temps up there, but does put it into the gravel. He'll stick up on a new set of tyres, Williams, and go again.
I've got a bit of laps to try and improve.
So Jay Mason is currently up on his Delta. That is 2.5 temps, give or take. See if he can find his way out up the table from P9. For anyone tuning in, don't forget to drop a follow. It is much appreciated and goes a long way in helping us grow. Thank you for tuning in.
Obviously, Mario Richards doesn't have a time yet, a tricky qualifying session yet, as he gets the traffic in the last corner. He knows Basile trying to start a lap. Let's see if he can set anything good.
Mason just going wide there and putting 2 tyres on the grass coming down the hill. That will cost him. Does still have a little bit of time in the bank. Makes up another 10th there. So 2 temps up currently into Cheetah. Throws it in.
Got Levi Warner with 2/10 up coming into the last sector.
Let's get on board with Levi Warner.
And Thomas across the line.
Losing a bit of time coming down.
Improvement. Up to P5. Good effort from Ken Thomas, 41.6.
Levi pulling over. 41.6 there. Maybe putting some fresh rubber on himself. Give him 2 laps to really heat those tyres up and then go for it.
It's a shame he had a good lap in. Messed up this last sector.
It's a very impressive time from Ken Thomas. It's a man that I know quite well. I've driven with him in a few races. Currently driving the Ferrari with me in a few championships, but his baby is the McLaren. To hit that time, very impressive. Finds himself all the way up into P5 ahead of Spencer Brown. I will take all the credit for the setup that he is using. So we have S. Eric in the Porsche, number 12 Porsche currently. I believe his league debut. And all the way up into 4th right now, 5 tenths off the leader. Friedman has managed to take some time out of his quality lap, just 3 tenths off the top of the table now. Will we break into the 40s as the track reaches its peak evolution?
Yeah, great effort in the Porsche. It's not the easiest car to drive. It's a very good car around Kyalami, but very tricky to handle overall. So let's see if they can improve again.
Friedman's going to take pole, I think, with this lap. Oh, up to P2. Very close. He was 3 tenths up.
6,000.
Whoa, that is that's getting close. That might force Warner to pull his finger out a little bit. He is now under threat of losing that pole. So just over a tenth and a half separating the top 3 right now.
It's very close. Let's see what they can do. Last chance for the guys coming out of the pits with 1 lap.
We'll stay on board with Friedman for this lap just to see if he can pull that minuscule amount of time out and take pole away from Warner.
It's quite a good lap for the moment. Good first sector.
Has made time up coming down the hill, and now up he goes.
Quite a lot of improvement. Lost a bit of time.
A tenth by the time he gets to the next corner, I think.
What does he got in the last sector? We're about to see.
Opted for the late break there, didn't quite pay off. Round Cheetah, 1 more corner to go. Has to nail it.
Pretty good. On the final corner.
He will take pole, I believe.
It's a weak exit. It's going to be very close.
Oh!
And no, not yet.
Identical times with Levi Warner there. Absolutely identical.
Oh my god. And don't forget M. Williams. He's only 1 tenth and a half behind.
Yep, so I think we'll go on board with Williams. I don't think Friedman will have time for another fast lap to get those tyres at the temp. He has pulled over, so that'll be Friedman, I think.
The problem is you're going to have not very hot tyres going for a lap for your first lap. Usually the second one is way better. So I don't think he's going to come out, or he's going to improve if he does.
Warner has time for 2 more just to cement that that P1. Let's see if we can find where Williams is. A slow lap this time. He's going to really send it on this next one. Just find a space on the grid.
Last lap. Levi is going to have two attempts across the line in time.
So it's all or nothing now for M. Williams to find himself on the front row.
Late braking.
Beautiful on the first corner. Really hooking it up nicely. Over a tenth up currently. Does he need a tenth and a half, I believe, to take pole right now?
A tenth and a half, yeah. It is indeed finished for Will Friedman. So it's going to be between Levi and Williams. For the pole.
Levi Warner and Friedman, very accustomed to each other, have had races across other leagues and communities before, so they will know each other quite well.
Warner's finding a bit of time coming into the last sector. Let's see if he can hug around Cheetah well.
Williams is currently half a tenth down. They really have to find something magical in these last two corners if he wants to take this front row.
Identical off time. Let's see what he can do in the last corner. He was a bit wide last time.
Oh,
Let's see if he
lots
can
of
hook it up.
time. Oh,
And there
lots
you
of time.
go.
This might be enough for M. Williams.
This is going to be well enough for pole position, I
P1
think.
for M. Williams on his last available lap. That
But
is
still in the
mega.
same 10th. We have to wait for Levi Warner. He's on the lap.
Can't see his
Improving at the
delta.
moment.
How much is he up from Wilson? I currently cannot see his delta.
He's identical for the moment, trying to find the time.
Neil Baslia, let's not forget about Niels Baslia with that time, putting it onto P4, only a tenth and a half off as well. Fantastic time from Baslia as we watch Warner try and cement pole position.
Currently, that's a big slide, losing a lot of time. Going to put an immense last sector if he wants pole position. Trying to be as tight as possible, but trying to be the straightest as possible to get the better exit. Hug to the left, stay to the left, and get a big straight braking at the 100-meter board. That's a decent line. Use the curb to accelerate. That's 1/10 and a half coming into Cheetah. Improvement. Don't be scared, just send it. Be confident. Brake before the 50, hug the inside, and flat to the floor for the exit. That's should be enough. It's going to be very close at the line. It's going to be not enough. 5,000
he's left it late, but he hasn't managed to find it. Look at that, just less than half a tenth between the top three as well. That is wild for the first round of the season. That's M. Williams snatching pole in a Nissan, followed by Levi Warner, just 5 thousandths behind him.
Well done, top three.
Freeman, yeah, just off the tail.
Great effort by Niels Basria. I gotta say, 1/10 and a half to the top three. That's a huge performance for him, getting back some confidence with the Ferrari. And outsider is Eric with 3.5 tenths. That's
in the Porsche as well, which is a notoriously strong starter off the line. So there is a chance he can throw that into the top three come turn one. So and then you have Ken Thomas. What a performance by him in qualifying in the 8 McLaren, taking P6. Spencer Brown takes P7 behind Ken, and then they have McConnell, another debutant, to Fatch GT in the 25 Ferrari 296, 7 tenths off pole in P8. Jay Mason takes P9. Pole in the Lexus, his debut season in the Lexus. Takes 10th, that rounds off the top 10. All quite close, to be honest, just 2 seconds between pole position and P20. So this should be an interesting race. Let's hope turn one is a safe one, boys. It's a 60 minutes race, ladies and gentlemen. So you can definitely lose it on the first lap, but you can't win it. Let's remember that. So let's have a nice clean start to the race, and 60 minutes of potential excitement on the way. Any predictions? Any things?
It's going to be very close. You can always count on Freeman being very consistent. I think he's the one who, like, average, I would say, the best laps. But I do see Levi getting some improvements. We saw a very messy lap, I would say, with some mistakes. He was 1.5 tenths up at some point and lost it all, and came back with a few improvements. So there was definitely some more in that time. So maybe with the stress getting a bit lower throughout the race, he will be able to come back. So we'll see how Williams handles the tire wear of the Nissan.
That's one thing that has always worried about me, Warner. Incredible pace and real nice driving, but does throw the car around potentially more than others, which, especially in the Ford, can have an effect on those tyres. I mean, obviously we have one mandatory stop here, and that is for fuel only, which would be 25 seconds if you wish to change tyres, which I do recommend if you're going for a 50-50 stint. It will be an extra 5 seconds. That'll be 30-second stop time standing still on the pits. Obviously, you've got the Nissan. I am not too aware of the tyre life or the ability to hold those tyres, so that could be something that comes into it. Pit strategy could be a huge factor today as
But
the cars line up for the grid.
I think the tire change is a no-brainer. You get so much performance out of the tires for 30 minutes more.
Yes, it's always worth it.
It's only 5 seconds. It's not like an endurance. You do 1 hour. It's not the same approach.
Yeah, you'll get that back in 10, 12 laps, no problem.
Yes.
So, yeah, interesting one today. Let's have a look through these ghastly liveries once I'm allowed to click drive. So full formation lap here, and then we'll be underway as the drivers make the last changes to their setups, get their tyre pressures where they need to be, and try and get their heads into the game.
He's struggling a lot, Aston Martin down in P26. Maybe with a good race, you could come back, I would say, in the top 20. Great quality by Kokemelakis, P22. Let's see if we can move up again or we'll get eaten up by some very strong performers like Komos in the races, usually. Ossian maybe didn't qualify. So.
Yeah, so Boss is a quick driver in that Mustang. I'm aware of that. I think maybe that was a choice not to qualify, maybe to skip the potential carnage that can ensue around such a narrow track on lap one. That's the beauty of a 6-minute race, though. If you do have an issue, you do have time to get your car back where you need to be, and you also have such leeway with strategy. So, yeah, let's hope for a good race here.
It is a difficult one because you get excited by how much room you got when you you pass the pit lane and the pit wall. The gap is opening up so much that you want to put maybe a third car wide or a fourth car wide, even 5 cars.
That's the issue, isn't it? It's such a wide track. You can easily get 3 cars going around the right, and then not only do you have to predict what the guy next to you is doing, you have to predict what the guy next to him is doing. Yeah. So it can easily get out of hand. But let's hope that does not happen.
And you need to know that even if you are 5 wide into turn 1, it doesn't like this places for 2 people, and as it narrows, you got the people ahead turning, so you don't have that much space. So you need, especially the guys on the inside, will have to be very mature of where they brake, especially the braking markers are on the right, so you can't see anything. So you need to be very conservative and not too happy with your braking marker. So
yeah, you almost need to have 4 pairs of eyes going into turn 1 on lap 1 on this one.
Yeah. Alright, the cars will go into the formation lap 1 by 1, and Williams, Warner, Friedman, you've got your top 3, 1 Nissan and 2 Mustangs chasing them behind. Let's not forget Eric with a great starting Porsche who could take Niels Bassley straight at the start with a poor starting Ferrari. We'll see what he wants to do, if he wants to be aggressive. Ken Thomas with the McLaren is also a good starter. Will be pretty much safe for Spencer Brown and McConnell with the Ferrari. But you do need to have a good reaction time. Your car doesn't make it all. So you need to be very wary and keep an eye on the lights as they go out.
A comment from Freeman in our Discord, the quali was mental. Yes, it was, sir. That's what we like to see for an opening race. So a little interested. I always like to take the first warm-up lap just to see how disgusted I am in competitors' liveries, but thankfully there's no like bogey greens really out there today. A couple of
Wait till you get to your classical hater.
Something has happened to Spencer Brown. He is in the pit lane, maybe forgetting to click drive. I know he does have a baby's bladder, so might have run to the toilet, or maybe a DC. I don't know. I know he's DC'd once today already.
That's a shame.
His internet can be unstable at times, so we'll see what happens. But again, 60-minute race, all to play for, and maybe that clean air at the beginning will help. So yeah, look for these liveries. Little one, the Niels Baslia, is doing some sort of livery challenge this season. Is going to be using 10 different liveries for all 10 races. I believe today's livery is Niki Lauda inspired. Has them all made up and ready to go. So yeah, Niki Lauda livery for Baslia today in that 51. Interesting to see what he comes up with this season.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we got information about Spencer Brown and the reason he's in the pits. He was in the pause menu, I think, because he changed camera and there was a problem with the binds of his wheel, so he was in pause menu, so he had to go back to the pits. Be wary that even if you click drive in the last 30 seconds, if you're in the pause menu when it hits 0, you go back to the pits. It cost me a lot. I speak from experience, ladies and gentlemen. So
just a
once you
hiccup,
click drive, just drive. That's an advice from me that you can take
like we
for
said though,
granted.
60-minute race. There's plenty of time to work back and get those points, and we know Spencer Brown's race pace is very quick. He would say that himself, that his quality pace isn't a reflection of his race pace. So
yeah, you do get you are catching the backpack pretty quickly at Kyalami with turn 1 very narrow, few incidents, few spins, so you'll be in the pack pretty quickly trying to fight.
okay, so the cars are turning onto the start-finish straight now. This should be very interesting. We'll stay on board with Eric as we can watch the cars behind and in front of him coming into turn 1 as we wait for those lights to go green. And we are away for round 1 of Fatch GT's GT3 season. We are at Kyalami as the cars come down the hill to turn 1. Porsche getting a strong start like we said it would, up into P4 on the inside of Niels Baslia. Fairly clean so far into turn 1. Well, that's a scary sight, isn't it? Good start from Eric to push into P4.
Everybody behaved well into turn 1, 2, 3.
We have a little off at the back, but nothing serious it seems. No major collisions. That's promising, so well done to all our drivers there.
Paul going into the grass, being pushed a bit wide maybe.
Baslia sending it round the outside and gets the move back done on Eric. Brilliant move on Niels Baslia there.
And
Top
Williams
3.
already.
Yeah, they're as they started. So 1, 2, 3 for Williams, Warner, and Friedman.
But Warner is putting some kind of pressures on Williams, trying to get the lead maybe very early to set his pace. Maybe it's better when he drives alone. So he tried to put some pressure on his teammate right away. Friedman a bit back, but with them battling, he's coming back.
He'll be looking to pounce on any mistake from the boys ahead of him.
Yes.
And now we've seen from the last 4 seasons, Williams and Warner are not impartial to a little bit of elbows here and there. So we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, well, Levi Warner races very hard, and then Williams doesn't let himself be run over. So it's going to be a very intense fight. We'll see if the Mustang restrictor is efficient or too powerful. I think it will be too powerful for Levi.
I think the Nissan will have, yeah, well, yeah. He'll want that thing going 300 miles an hour down that road.
Yeah. James Mason taking the fastest lap of the race straight away.
Yeah, looks like a very clean start from the 30 drivers on the grid. Very impressive.
He's putting pressure on Eric, so a great start from James Mason, getting by Ken Thomas and McConnell, who had a pretty poor start. We gotta say Spencer Brown left a position there, so up to P6 for James Mason on his debut match.
Yeah, very impressive. Pole has also gone up a position off the start, started in P10 up into P9, with Smith up into P11. Top 4 all still close together.
And yeah, like I said,
P25
Spencer Brown catching up to the backpack in P25, chasing Kokomelakis in P24. There's a big group with Kokomelakis, almost Bruce, sorry. No, I messed up. Almost,
it's a very tough track to overtake on. The uphill bit where we see Spencer Brown now, one of the few areas you can really send it. Otherwise, you're looking for corner exits most of the time around here to get your overtakes done. So yeah, it's going to be a very mind-melting 60 minutes for some of these drivers to figure out the best way to get around their opponents.
There is some
Spencer
corner
Brown
where
going on the
you got
outside now.
multiple lines. I must direct you towards the lead of the race, with Levi Warner getting pretty close to M. Williams. Freeman takes the fastest lap of the race, confirming its great pace.
We have W. Taylor there caught up in an incident, I think maybe hit the sausage, very common there as he comes into the pit to repair. So yeah, maybe a sausage incident there for Taylor. Let's get back up with the leaders. We're with Warner, who is sniffing the rear of M. Williams. Putting his nose on the inside, thinking about a move.
Making himself look big in the mirrors. Weaving a bit, and Friedman is there sitting, watching with the popcorn.
And then you've got Baslier also looking to pick up any pieces of an impending incident. So it looks like the top four starting to build a little bit of a gap to Mason in P5. So
Mason just got past Eric, so there was maybe a bit of gap formed because of that, but I'm sure he can catch up if the lead groups keeps battling. You can see Baslier keeping it up, and Friedman being bit, I think, annoyed by these two fighting. He's being boxed up a bit more, too much for his liking. Very close to top three, right in their gearboxes.
We're looking to have a very interesting next 55 minutes of this race.
Indeed, yeah.
Warner won't be used to this though. He's used to a bit wide there for Warner.
A bit wide, and Friedman got a good exit. Let's see what they can do. A bit too far to launch, but nothing Warner's afraid about.
For those that do not know, M. Williams is a 3-time title holder. Last season was pipped to the championship by a certain David Silf of MSA Racing, who had an incredibly dominant season, flawless throughout really, apart from one race. Williams will be looking to take that goal back and become a record 4-time Fatch GT champion. So a lot on the line for him, and every championship he's won, he has done in a different car. Warner very close to the rear end of Williams there.
And Baslier with the fastest lap, so we can confirm that this pace is not very good from M. Williams. He's feeling the pressure, and can't really get into the rhythm. So
we have Mario Rutschers in the pit, so a potential issue for him. We have had a driver DC as well. That might have been Taylor after the sausage incident, or what may have been a sausage incident. I did not see the whole thing. So middle of the pack looks busy as well. No, Taylor's still out on track, currently blue flagged between P12 and P11. Smith up to P11. Ken Thomas has unfortunately fallen back till P8, so we lost out position.
Taylor
making the stop. Repaired that damage and got underway. It's going to be a very long 53 minutes on those tyres for him, if he has enough fuel. If he remembered to fill that tank up. So, Friedman just fallen off the back of Warner a little bit there, and Baslier is now sniffing up the rear of Friedman. I know we're talking about minuscule time differences, but something to keep an eye on. They do look like they're getting away a little bit from P5.
Yeah, I think the less Warner puts pressure on Williams, the more he can get his pace down, and maybe Friedman is just a tiny bit under for the start of this race. Maybe he's made a little mistake, so maybe nothing to worry about, but very good performance from Baslier, trying to stay in the back, and he's staying in the back despite this last lap. Clear lines for M. Williams, no defenses, so he did the lap at full potential, so Baslier is
just catching up with the back of the pack, and a certain Spencer Brown who started from the pit lane. He has worked his way past Cork and Bruce now in P20. He's currently following Boss, who did have a little bit of contact with Lino going into turn 1, just gave him a little tap in the rear. Spencer looks for a little switchback, but a bit out of the way to do that. De Gale going strong in P16, being trying to hunt down Ladva, but right behind De Gale is Duda in the McLaren 97, very close behind him.
He's the head of the train. The girl is maybe backing everyone up until Spencer Brown. Bruce is a bit detached, but very hard to overtake maybe when you're in the train. And that's why maybe Will Friedman is backing up a bit to just watch what unfolds in front.
Most of the top 10 in the 42.5s currently. We have De Gale coming into the pits. Maybe looking for some clear air, but with so many cars on not the longest track in the world, clean air is going to be something that's very difficult to come across.
Maybe suffered from damage at the start.
Yeah, maybe. It didn't look like he lost too much time, but here we go. The top three still separated by less than a second. And they are pulling away from P5s. The top four looking to get away. Batley has just lost a little bit of time, but is still there.
Yeah, Williams on the back foot. Sliding a bit. Warner trying to send it up the inside. Not
He's
quite enough.
really trying to
Watch
scare
for
him.
the moves on the braking. We don't want that. Out of bound.
Fastest lap currently belonging to Levi Warner.
Yeah, so the pace is picking up, and we can see Batley are getting a bit detached. Friedman coming back. I think it's suffering from a bit of inconsistency. At the start, maybe he's trying to stay away.
I'll tell you what, only 10 minutes has passed, but it feels like it's been half an hour. If this goes on for another 49 minutes, I would not be disappointed.
Must have looked like an hour for M. Williams trying to keep this madman behind.
I'm sure he'll have his vape in his mouth whilst he's taking these corners. He usually does. Not easily shook, this man. So we see the top three go around turn one. Batley is still there in the background. He'll be loving this. Compared to where he was last season in that BMW, to be up here chasing the top pack, he'll be absolutely loving this.
Spencer Brown in the pits. Maybe he suffered from damage. I can't see.
Maybe he's looking for some clean air. We'll see.
We'll have to time his stop to see if it's 30 seconds or not.
If you want to keep an eye on that for me, Wilson, and let me know what is going on there. You did have Boss and the McLaren fighting quite strongly ahead of him, So, message from Spencer, I don't know how this man types and races at the same time. Needs air from Boss Yang. Was struggling to catch the Mustang on the straights, so he has opted for a different strategy.
And that is for 30 seconds stop, so yeah. Trying to get some clear air, and it might be a good strategy because Boss was able to make some inroads going up to P17, but Spencer was being held back for quite a few laps. So maybe this is not the worst car I've ever seen. Let's see what it can do, what pace he can set. There's quite a bit of gap, 29 seconds to the next car of Gomez.
Well, he's got to try. He's got to try something, right? Obviously, with the pit lane
definitely.
start, you've got nothing to lose at this point. Why not give it a go? 41 frees for the top two, 41.5 for Friedman. Batley just dropping off 5 temps on that lap. Maybe struggling without the slipstream, but we all know the Mustangs can lose a lot of pace quite quickly with the tyres going off at the back. So I would not be surprised to see Bastia come back into this fight at the front.
There is a good 12 minutes on this tire, so yeah, this is the time, this is the lap where the tires are going to be a bit under the weather. Maybe not in terms of performance, but definitely in terms of feeling. Going to get some more slides, and not only on the rear tires. All 4 tires are going to be struggling a bit more. So definitely something to get used to. And it shows the 2 Mustangs are struggling a bit to make some moves on Williams, despite the pace being very high, 41.3. We gotta say that the pole position was 41.1, so the pace is very, very high at the start with high fuel.
So we have Oh, we tell you what, we've been focusing on the top 3 and 4, but it's all kicking off behind them for the rest of the positions in the top 10. We've just had McConnell go off track, and Ken Thomas has taken the position back up to P7. Hatton has gotten back past Pole into
Yeah, we have
P9, so Pole is
Eric
back to P10.
trying to make some moves on James Mason, but Fair then went very wide, maybe losing some place to Ken Thomas. A bit
Yeah,
too
so
far
from
back.
fifth downwards, we got really 5-6 cars still in the hunt for that fifth position. You got Smith just 1.5 seconds off a pole in P10, so they were quite clustered up. And this is only going to slow them all down as well, so it could bring the likes of Sander Versterger into this fight. Also, who finds himself into P12. I think he started around P17, so that would be a good start for Sander Versterger. There we go. Niels Bastley is back into the 41s. A better lap from him this time. Yeah, lots of clear air for Spencer Brown here. So let's see. Well, I think he came into the pits maybe P20, something like that. So once all the pit stops are served and done, we'll be interested to see where he is on that track. Bit of grass there for Mason around the long right-hander. Oh, big moment for Mason. Big.
That's a good save.
Yeah, that curb can send your front end around if you hit it too hard. You get too much tyre on it. So did well to save that. Holds on to P5. Meanwhile, the top 4 continue to break away.
Warner trying to put some more pressure. He loves the corner where the main pack is at. Big braking coming out of the fast right-hander down the hill. It's maybe a corner that Dan Williams struggles with, especially on the inside curve of the right. You can see him a couple of times sliding. So a bad exit from him makes Warner wants to try a move.
Well, we have a big fight here for P8. McConnell's held on. D. Hatton in the Nissan did look to send it past, but didn't quite get it, and the Lexus behind them, hounding them all the way. So the top, so 10, 9, and 8, all looking to fight here. Ken Thomas is taking this chance to break away from them after getting that move done on McConnell. So this will be a nice bit of breathing room for Ken. Yeah, all in the 43s, those three, whilst they're fighting away, and that gives Smith 4 attempts to close in on them that lap. So they need to be careful how much they fight. It's something else you've got to manage. You don't just have to manage your tyres and how hard you're driving them. Sometimes you have to choose when you fight, because it's just more time, and then the race is going to get more difficult as more cars come into it. The Lexus with a move on the inside there.
Yeah, you definitely need to know if you can realistically make the move. Sometimes people tend to do moves just to try and unsettle the car in front, but leads often to nothing. And you lose time and you make cars from behind with less space coming back. And sometimes you suffer from your own medicine and lose another position. So you are third in the pack, if you want. And
Yeah,
then it gets worse and worse.
Some great defensive driving there from McConnell to hold off the Lexus, going too wide around a good 3 corners of the track, but does get away from the Lexus. But that has brought Smith now into the fight for that position. And that has also given Hatton in the Nissan a bit more breathing room to break away. So let's head back in with the leaders. That's Jimenez in the BMW in the pit. I believe I see a bit of front end damage on that bumper. That could have been an issue. Ken Thomas up into P6 now, so I think maybe Eric had an issue in that Porsche. Ken Thomas looking to change down Mason, identical times from the two there. Yeah, Eric lost 2 seconds that lap, definite issue for Eric.
Yes, I think it was maybe a bold attack because he tried one already on James Mason and failed, so maybe a second time he didn't use max power of these Porsche brakes. It's very hard to get this car stopped. Not that it's not good brakes; these are good brakes, but it's hard to make the car stop. On the contrary, you got the Ferrari was very easy to stop, and the Mustang. Porsche has good brakes, but it's definitely hard to extract everything from them.
Meanwhile, Wilson, the top 3, have a chain attached to each other's rears, and they're pulling each other along. 0 0.2 separating P1 and 2, and then 0 0.2 behind them is Will Friedman. So this fight is far from over, and Baslia still hanging on in the background, ready to pounce if these boys start fighting.
He's getting a bit detached. Will Freeman on the inside. Very good move on Levi
Warner
Warner.
looking for
Maybe
a
he's picking
switch
his
back.
time.
Now this is going to be a decision they have to make.
Yeah, very
Good decision
mature
from
from
Warner
Levi.
there. Yes, you live to fight for the next 40 minutes.
Yes.
So great
Now,
move from Friedman.
it's not necessarily bad for Warner's race now. He's going to let Friedman do the work, use his tires, trying to get back past M. Williams. So maybe he's going to try and pick up the pieces of the fight. And
Well, it's not only that. This gives them great control of the pit stop now and the potential undercut. Being in third, really, I think if you're in the middle, you can't. It's a bit more difficult to choose when you're going to pit. Being at the back, he can just say, you know what, I'm going to dive in. You boys keep going.
well, it's very hard. We don't have engineers in ACC, then you don't really know where you're coming out. And one lap undercut isn't effective at all. The time you need to warm up your tires, it's definitely not the right choice. 2 laps. When you got 2 laps undercut, you can do something, but then the guys in front have the chance to pit.
It's
Uh,
very usual that you do a 50-50, a 30 and a 30, right? But Warner's now got the advantage to say, you know what, I'm gonna really go for that undercut. But like you say, you do not know where you're going to come out. If you're on a larger track, a lot easier maybe to do. But around
yeah,
here, where as the grid has spread out a lot, it is a risk. But he's
yeah.
got the
So
cards in his hands now. Obviously,
s-
Williams has all the advantage being in P1, but
yeah, so
gives
sometimes
Warner a
it's
little bit
better
more
to
freedom.
go longer in this perspective. To get to wait till the maximum cars possible pit, so you're in the clear area, and you just
First
hope that the
blue
cars who
flags
pitted,
attached. Almost on a moment
yeah,
there with Williams and the blue flag of ours, but Williams just managed to hold it. But that has put him at a little bit of threat from Friedman, but Friedman will be too far away. The straight line speed of the Nissan will help Williams. Ours does let the top three get past.
and Levi is struggling a bit. He was very wide on the last corner, so I think he just needs to keep his head calm. He has the pace. He just needs to settle it and wait a bit.
So
Calm
I'm
down, calm
looking
the tires.
currently looking at the timing tables. Spencer Brown obviously had the early pit stop. It's in P23. Looking at I think it's about a 40. We do have a car around there, and that's the Aston Martin from Gomez. Looking at the timing tables, this pit stop, once all the other cars are pitted, this could send Brown all the way up near to the top 10. So, still lots to play for.
Yeah, he's doing 41.9, 42.1. He's in the high 41s, low 42. So definitely more pace than the guy he was behind before the pit stop. So he maybe shoot himself very quickly um, into the top 15 and definitely in the top 10 towards the end of the race.
Into Smith has also made his pit stop in the Mustang, just ahead of Spencer Brown. So yeah, and I think Smith was sitting on around 11th, 10th when he pitted. So that really shows where Brown has got up to. If they keep pushing in the clean air, he could break into the top 10 by the time all the pits are served.
Yes, exactly. That's an undercut, but you have a big tire wear deficit when you
Yes,
pit
it's going to get
box
a lot
this
more
early.
difficult at the end of the race. So we'll see. But again, it is hard to pass here. Ken Thomas still doing it supremely well in P6, looking to hunt down Mason. Very impressive. 1/10 quicker that lap. Eric is also still there behind them. P7 for Eric, 1.3 seconds back. They've broken away from P8 by about 4 seconds. Meanwhile, Bastley is kind of starting to sink into his own little area of the track. And then in the upper front of him, you have the three leaders. Williams holding on. Meanwhile, Verstager up into P10. And Bosch Jan up into P11. So he started at the back of the grid on the track,
Yeah.
didn't he? So good race for Boschian so far.
And it's a net P11. Oh, there's Paul who has pitted. Brown, I think, will come out ahead. But Mario, I think, was behind, and Hughes is 40. He's 84 seconds behind else. I think he had big issues. Fortunately, we got a car around the 323 of Ross out of turn 4, I think.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. We have had a disconnect as well. It's Schnell. So that's unfortunate for Schnell. Always more races in the season, my friend.
And
So
box for Levi Warner
that
trying
is
to get
Warner.
this on the cut, like we talked about. Watch for track limits out of the sausage. It's very easy to go wide and get a track limits, so you need to be very careful.
It's a good
Um,
pit stop, good entry from Warner. I have seen him crash headfirst into that wall, so he'll be having nightmares every time he does make that pit. But yeah, nice and clean. And now we'll be waiting to see where he comes out, what kind of traffic awaits him. So it'll be interesting to see there. Meanwhile, Friedman 0.6. It'll be his turn to really go at Williams without pressure behind him now.
Eric and Thomas still going at it for P4.
Would you ever risk, if you were in this top 3 position, right, and you're on a track like Kyalami where it is so narrow, would you ever risk not taking tyres just to get that track position and just deal with the absolute hell of having no rubber for half an
No
hour?
way.
No.
For the simple reason that it is a lot of tight corners, so a lot of mechanical grip, and
Yeah.
it's all about the exits on the overtaking opportunity. And like by the 20 minutes marks of like 40-minute mark of the race into the race, you're going to be struggling so much, and speed difference between you and the car behind will be so intense that you will tend to go wide just to try and not get swollen up or get passed around the outside. Uh, so
Meanwhile, we've had a bit of a development at Wilson. We have now got Ken up into P4, Ken Thomas. So that's net P5. He has gotten past Mason, and Eric has also gotten past Mason. So potential, maybe a sausage moment. I'm always going to assume
yeah,
another
and Mason,
moment.
big
Mason off
moment,
again,
and it's
so that could
pitting.
into the pit. So that could have been
That's a
2 in
very
a
good
row
decision.
for.
It's like
Well, I
that.
don't think he had much of a choice. It's that or the tyre wall. So yeah, Mason into the pits. Maybe starting to struggle on those tyres and whipping that car around the
Yeah.
sausage. He will come into service pit. Let's see where Warner has come out. Does have traffic ahead of him. So 2.7 up the road is Laxoud, and then you got Cork. So we'll have a couple of laps of clean air, maybe 1 or 2. And we'll have to get these moves done very swiftly. Bit of front end damage there for the Greek Cork, running up in P14 currently. Obviously, we do not know what the net position is now as more cars come into pit. That's a drive through for M. Williams. Big
Oh
drive through
no.
for M. Williams, leading the race and hits a drive through. So that will leave the race down to Warner and Friedman. That is unfortunate.
You remember I talked about track limits a couple of corners ago,
Yes, I do recall that, Wilson. You did hit the nail on the head there.
and where did he get his final warning? Out of the sausage turn. So you need to be very careful of that.
I
And
think that also shows the pressure that he's been under this race from the two
yeah,
behind him, really pushing him the whole way. That's an off for McConnell, I believe, and that allows Boschian to get through, really moving
yeah,
through this grid nicely today. So it's a really superior drive from Boschian. Very impressed. I don't think it was a track limit. I think it was speed in the pit lane for M. Williams, because his mandatory pit stop is served. I believe that was a pit lane speed.
yeah. I think it's a pit lane speed because it doesn't have any invalid laps.
Yes, so that is all driver error. That's unfortunate for M. Williams, because I tell you what, he would have been very happy in the car that he doesn't drive usually, being up in P1 and putting a fight to the likes of Warner and Friedman. So, but again, it's race 1. There are 9 more after this, and if the racing is going to be this close all season, then those boys are going to have a hell of a fight. And Williams, of course, will have a chance to salvage points still from this race. He has got that pace. So
Yes, he
Baslia
won't be
choosing
out
to
of the
go a bit
points.
longer. Okay, so Friedman has also pitted now. So let's see where those guys are on the track. Friedman has got...
Man
Oh, wow,
went
great
ahead.
pit from Friedman. About a 6-second gap opened up between Warner and himself. So you would say that this is all in the hands of Will Friedman currently.
I would say, but watch Levi. He needs to do a solid end of the race because Matthew Williams is at turn 1 and Levi Warner is not super far ahead. He's less than 10 seconds ahead of Matthew Williams, I think. We'll have to wait and see till they cross the first sector line.
I think the tyres for Ken Thomas are just starting to go off now. Eric has really closed that gap. I know the McLaren, obviously you have to run that car on incredibly low TC, and that does chew the tyres up very quick. So maybe the McLaren just starting to feel the heat of South Africa right now as he comes
Same for
down
Porsche.
to the start finish.
Very low TC. So yeah, a gap between Warner and Williams is 13.5. So with a couple of mistakes, I'll have to check Levi's timetable. Yes, quite a few
that would
invalid laps.
indicate that Williams can still come back to a P4 really if he can get back up to Baslia. Obviously Baslia dropped off the front three, but P5 could definitely be there for Williams because the gap between Baslia and P5 was pretty high before the pit stops. So still lots to play for.
It's not that terrible.
Lots more cars come into the pits. It looks like Hatton, Ladver and Lino into the pits. So only a few more. All the top 6 still left to make their pit stops. So S. Brown up into P16 currently. Obviously 6 cars ahead of him still left to pit. Making his way through. 3 seconds up the road sits Hatton. And then a big gaggle of cars. So Spencer Brown needs to get his head down and keep on. .8 seconds is the gap to Friedman from Warner. And in comes Boschian for his pit stop.
So what happened? I checked the replay for M. Williams. The problem is he entered the pits in second gear, and you can't activate pit limiter in second gear. So he went out of the corner in the pits, get back on the power, and went above the speed limit. That is very unfortunate, but you have to be careful with that. It's all little things that are not true in every game. You see Le Mans Ultimate, you can enter the pits in second gear.
Well, I know
but
he's
this is
recently
very
been
specific.
dabbling with the plague that is Project Motorsport racing.
Yeah.
And he's been getting a bit comfortable with that. Maybe that's just played in his mind, or it could just be one of those things where he's had so much to think about this race, that one slipped his mind. Friedman does open up a neck for 3 attempts on Warner, so Friedman's consistency really going strong right now.
If you don't set up your pits, maybe he had to put his pressures in, less fuel or more fuel, so he had to tweak everything before his pit stop. So maybe he got confused in all that.
Yeah. Well, he'll be up back to P6, I believe. No, he'll be up. He could be up to P4 by the time all the pits are served, and Williams. So still a big gaggle of points on offer. But it's Baslia going long. We've seen this strategy from him a few times over the course of last season.
Yep.
Spencer Brown up to 14th now, and on the tail off. Guess who? So he boxed because he could not pass the Mustang of Bosch Yang. And guess who he's currently behind? The
Bastian.
Mustang of Bosjan.
That
So
proves that he has a huge pace, Bastian, in that Mustang, because he didn't let himself undercut despite going through traffic.
yeah,
So I've checked his times, that they
maybe
must
it'd
be
be
very
worth
strong.
Spencer Brown working with Bossia to get through the traffic ahead of him if they've got this pace.
Yeah, got
Yeah,
very
we'll see how it
consistent
goes.
times here. 41.9, 42.1, 42.1, 4, 41.9, 42.9. With that, going through traffic. We have to say that. There's a 42.9, there's a 42.3, but maybe he had to overtake someone. So this is very strong and consistent lap times. So I'm very impressed by his performance this race, and he's going now
Considering
into the
started
top
from the
10.
back as well, yeah, very impressive. So still Baslia, Eric and Versterger, top 3 yet to pit. Kolmos and P7
Almost,
also
yeah.
yet to pit.
So I think he's net P11. I think Bastia will come
Yeah, I
out there.
think Baslia will be the only one of the ones not to pit that they will not pass. So
I'm talking about Boss.
yeah, that's Spencer and Boss. I think they will not pass Niels, obviously.
Yes, but they won't pass
yeah,
Eric as well. So P11 for
so Baslia does come in. I think Eric stayed out.
no, Eric is in the pits.
Oh,
Verstager
okay,
is
so
in the
they're
pits.
both going. Yeah, so all serving their pits, which would leave just Kolmos.
Almost is arriving in
So it'll
sector
be
3.
interesting to see where Ken Thomas comes out. I think maybe he had a slow pit stop. Mason has gotten past him.
Yeah.
Poland Smith still sits behind. Overall, still a strong race. Maybe just fumbled in the pits a little bit. Maybe had a little bit of damage. Who knows? So Warner gets past Baslia. Does not lose that position. Baslia is underway now, I think. So we'll come out behind him. 7 seconds. 7, might be 8 seconds by the time turn 1's done. Friedman, meanwhile, has gained another 5 tenths on Warner, up to 7 seconds now. So that will put Williams, after that drive-through, down into P4 with the opportunity to still fight for a podium if he can close in on Baslia, who will have the fresher tyres. If you got a second gap in P1, what do you do here? Do you just take it easy, business as usual?
No, not at all. It depends on the stakes of the race. If it's just a fun race, I'm definitely sending it every corner because I don't like seeing the delta go up.
It's a pride thing.
Yes, and trying to extend the gap as much as I can, and also trying to put the best laps in. But if it's a very high stakes race like this one, for championship, I keep doing what I'm doing because you don't want to be getting in that 90% of your capacity because you tend to lose focus, and that's where you crash. That's where you maybe hit the sausage or take too much cabin in one of these corners or start going wide for like no reason and getting warning, which is very crucial around here. So
We have a development on track, Wilson.
yeah.
Spencer Brown has gotten around Bosjan. So he'll
Oh my
feel a
god.
relief. Man, Bosjan off there just a little bit, but the Mustang's quite good off track, believe it or not. Does hold it.
I feel like you
Eric
speak
is on the
for
back of them
experience.
now. Yeah, it's well, I've driven a lot of cars onto the green, mate, and the Mustang by far feels the best on the greens. So, but here Eric's coming at Boss into turn 1, doesn't opt for the send.
Trying to get behind, trying to get some kind of a switchback.
Untidy now. Yeah,
He's
feeling the
offline, so
pressure.
he can try and offset his line and trying to get a better exit from this corner, but he lost some time.
This will give Spencer the ability to get that Mustang out of his slipstream and get away. Ferrari very strong through this next sector. Oh, big moment for Spencer Brown. We saw James Mason do the same thing earlier in the
Yeah.
race. Just a little bit too much curb coming back across it. That's a squeaky bum time right there for Spencer Brown. Meanwhile, Matt Williams is closing the gap on Niels Baslia. Is going to be hunting down that podium. So we will keep an eye on that.
Yeah, so like I said before, you don't want to be in that 90% zone because it's a zone where you're not very comfortable. When you practice pushing. So everything feels a bit slower. You turn it at the same time, but you're not going in at the same speed, at the same commitment. So it feels weird and it's very hard to keep this rhythm and you maybe lose more time that you want to. So just be aware of where the track is very tricky, like sausage, for example. You take it easy through there. No need to send it like crazy, but just do it like always, and don't hesitate to avoid like go in the grass, for example. If you feel like you're going to touch the sausage, just take the grass and try to get back the focus in, and tell yourself the next corner. Just be careful there.
We have a
That is it.
McConnell heading back into the pits. Maybe an issue there for him. Might have been a fuel issue or
Yeah, that's a shame. It was
yeah, it
a
was
top
going
10
strong.
finish for him.
So that opens things up. Al's also in the pit. I hope he hasn't had a come. I hope those two haven't had a coming together.
We'll see if M. Williams is able to catch back Niels Basley. I think he will be able to, but it's going to be very close towards the end. Only 20 minutes left and a 3.3-second gap to
Yeah,
close.
meanwhile, Freeman continues to take a few temps here and there
Yeah.
out of Warner. So Warner will just be looking just to settle into the P2. Freeman will be looking to bring this home. So that is that top three scrap. Well, the top two scrap probably over.
He is extended
Meanwhile,
with 41.3 best lap on the 22nd. He's on the 24th. So very good pace from Freeman. A lot of consistency, 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, 0.3, 0.5.
41.2 there from M. Williams. That is the fastest lap of the race. So you've really got
Well
the bit
done.
between the teeth now, trying to mount that comeback. And also the way things work here, it's okay if you have a bad race, opening race of the season. We have 90-minute races also. We have 2 across the course of the season, and the points are higher than our 60-minute races. So there is more opportunity to make those deficits back.
Yeah, you can see the Warner's consistency is off. 41.9, 41.7, 41.9, and he's off pace as well. I think he could do way better, but you can
Meanwhile,
see Freeman. Yeah,
we've got a bit of a story. Obviously, we saw Spencer Brown get past Bosjan, but Bosjan is going to stick his nose up on the inside. I think Spencer's starting to feel the effects of those tyres as they go too wide round the left.
Bit of the inside.
Going to lose this out. Oh, he's going to lose it out, I think. Yeah, I think the tyre deficit starting to prove to he's still there though.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky holding it out on the inside.
Yeah.
You can try and stick your nose, but it doesn't usually end well. And very good move by Bosjan. Watch out from Eric behind, sorry. Trying to pick up the pieces of that fight. Spencer hasn't said his last word.
Because I think these guys have the pace to catch Hatton for the last 20 minutes, but if they keep doing this, they will not. And now, obviously, Spencer's got to deal with Eric breathing down his neck.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Eric because he was with Ken Thomas and James Mason, and now he's very much further back.
Where is Mason now? Mason's still hanging on to P5. Ken Thomas has caught him. So I think another moment maybe for Mason on that same corner is the bane of his existence. But Ken Thomas, looking very strong today, has found his way onto the tail of Mason. So P5 still in play. Actually passing a blue flag there. Williams has to do the same. And then it's a fight between those two. Great drive from Versterger today, all the way up in P8. So that's a gain, I think, of about 9
Yeah.
positions for him. He'll be happy with that.
And maybe Paul isn't far away, so if he's got pace, he definitely can catch. And Paul is not far away from Thomas. And Thomas and Mason are fighting, so it can go all closer towards the end of the race. This from P5 to P10, it can
Plenty to
bring
play
them back.
for still.
Yep.
Boss dispatches a Gomez in the Aston Martin.
And this is all the little group that was at the beginning, with James Mason leading till I think Bastian, because Bastian was fighting in another group. So they are coming back together towards the end, like they were at the beginning.
Now we have Hatton and Smith going at it. The Nissan of Hatton really putting the pressure on Smith. This is a fight for P9 currently on track. Now we've got the Nissan and its straight Stein speed. He's going to be side by side. He will get the corner before Smith. Let's just see what Smith does here. Doesn't fight it too much.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to fight it right on the outside. Wait for it. Yeah,
no
doesn't
grip there
try the
for him.
switchback.
Good move from Hatton on Smith. That puts him up to P9. Versterger to chase. 3.6 seconds ahead of him. Well, Bastley the last couple of laps has held the gap to Williams. So 50 minutes to hold on for Niels
Williams
Bastley.
had traffic of Bruce, so that's why he lost a bit of time. But the gap is indeed closing. 1 second till since the stop of Baslier, so it's edging
Still a decent
towards
portion of the race to go. This might be a, last few lap kind of deal for that position.
Yeah, definitely like the P5 to P9 group.
Very impressed
P8.
with the standard of pace today. Looks like we're setting up to have a good season all round. Battles throughout the field.
Yeah, it's a very good race for the moment. Pack being very tense and a lot of fighting throughout the field.
Versterger has closed onto the Lexus of pole, so we have another fight on the way. Obviously, he's not got a chance of getting him down the back, start-finish straight. That Lexus will put its middle finger up at you and say, try again next time. It will be gone. That's 42.3 for Versterger that lap and a 42.9 from pole, so Versterger will have the opportunity here.
Williams has been struggling for pace these last few laps. 41.9, 41.8. That is 41.2.
We're going to see the track evolve a little bit more, maybe for the better or worse, due to the sun's no longer on it.
Yep, and a 41.4 for Baslier. That's a very good lap time. And
it might be close to his PB for the race.
It
is. Far off
it
of
was his personal best of the race. And so very strong pace on the back end of the race. So it's not over for Niels Baslier and his podium. If he can keep it like that, Williams is going to need to put a lot of effort to catch.
A Ferrari.
Verstappen and Paul.
Big moment there for Verstappen, trying to get on the throttle early down the hill. Yeah. Did get his nose briefly on the tail of Pole, but just that stepped out on him.
Thomas and Mason battling in front, and Paul is catching. So like I said, this group is coming together. So it's going to be a four-way fight in a couple of laps. Paul very wide in the sausage, and Verstappen is going to get through round the outside.
Yeah,
very well
Paul
done.
Thinking better. I've seen a few drivers do that and then still think they can hold the position, and it will end in tears. Yeah. So that's very mature driving from Paul, just to get off the throttle.
This is the thing we saw throughout the whole grid. A lot of drivers showing respect, and one was very clean on the first lap. We saw Warner making a mistake on that same corner and not trying to fight. No, he was fighting Friedman, and he didn't stick his nose into the sausage. So very impressed with the maturity of the field. Very proud of that.
We still have time for a 20-car fender bender. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I've got to touch wood, which is my big ass head.
Yeah, it's a pole. Yeah, I think they're just struggling now as the sun sets on Kyalami. Just falling off. Versterger is breaking away at a rapid pace. He looks like he will catch the rear end of Ken Thomas and Mason as they go at it. So
Yeah,
a
and there's
three-way
traffic.
fight for P5.
And Hutton is coming slowly, slowly, slowly.
Eric has
Sneaking his
gotten
way.
around Spencer Brown. I think the tyre's really dying off for Spencer.
Yeah.
But considering what happened at the start of the race, it's not a disaster. Tough track with some good contenders. And that is points for Spencer Brown. So avoiding the complete disaster at least. Yeah, Warner just fallen off the pace now. Lost a second, over a second to Niels Baslia that lap. And Williams gaining 4 temps on... You know what? I think Warner may really be starting to struggle, or have had a couple of issues the last few laps. Baslier's coming back at him, and with Matt coming back at Warner, there's still time for this to get spicy for P2 as well.
Yeah, 41.5, 42.0 for Bastia last lap. A bit of an issue, but still strong pace for
I am
him.
seeing the rear end of Warner's Mustang step out around these corners now. He did undercut, didn't he? It was did pit early. Was that earlier than a few?
Yes.
So that tyre diff really starting to come into play.
And Warner is not the easiest on his tires, so the Mustang you really got to be careful.
You can see Baslia behind him now, closing in. 3.2 the gap currently. Did speak to Baslia earlier in the week, and the setup he got he was really feeling it. So starting to show now. As Williams is also picking up the pace. See that Delta closing in. Let's check in elsewhere. You got Boss. Boss is right now on the back of Smith. Two Mustangs going at it, and Smith being on the back of Hatton. Another three-way fight here. Boss goes for the send on the inside. Will he get that Mustang stopped? Oh, they're going to be side by side going into Sausage. No, Smith falls behind him. So great, another position gain for Boss, but might have been a track limit thrown in there for his troubles. Boss actually, I think, has let him go past there because it might have been an unfair overtake. I think that's great sportsmanship. Yeah, great sportsmanship. He gave him a flash as well to acknowledge it, I believe, there. Yeah. So he wants to get it done, and he wants to get it done properly. So good sportsmanship there from Boss Jan. As Freeman sails off into the sunset, 14 seconds gap. That would be all said and done for Freeman. Just has to bring it home now. So 2.6 seconds to Baslia from Williams.
Williams is getting some pace again. 1.6, 1.6.
Baslia has taken another 3 temps out of Warner there. I think Warner had to get round Colmos, the 666 Porsche in P20. So that's a bit more time lost. This could be getting spicy.
He's really struggling, and I think, in my opinion, he's getting his focus. He's losing focus because it's not a question of tire going wide. He's just not optimizing the lines and being very weird on his riding.
Happened. We were just tuning into that fight between Boss and Smith. Smith has suddenly lost 2 positions to Boss and Eric, so I don't know what's happened there. Mason is also starting just to edge away from Ken Thomas, but Versterger is now 0.4 off of the back of Ken. See them come down the start finish straight into turn 1.
Versterger putting some more pressure on Ken Thomas, and James Mason isn't that far away, so P5 is going to be a
I
stretch
think
because he needs to get
Ken's
by.
starting to struggle more than
Yeah,
anything. He was on the back of Mason's dropped back, and Verstappen has closed that gap rapidly. I think the tyres for the McLaren have reached their peak.
you can see Verstappen hitting his lines, being very clean, and Ken Thomas very struggling to hit the apexes. As I said, that Verstappen slides out of the corner, but genuinely, the driving is way cleaner from Verstappen's side, so the tires must be very gone for Ken Thomas.
Look at the hold on. You got Pole just behind them, a second and a half back. So yeah, still lots to play for. Eric on the back of Boschian now. It's like a war of attrition. This give and take each lap. She looks like one's going to get away, and then the car behind just closes up again.
Yeah. 1.6 M Williams closing.
Check back in with Baslia and Williams. 1.7 now, the gap between Williams and Baslia. The gap between Baslia and Warner holding constantly now at around 2.93 seconds. So I think Warner will have enough to hold on, but will Baslia have enough to hold on from Williams?
A mistake can happen very quickly, so Warner is going to have to stay focused at the end.
Very impressed with having that drive through, how Williams is handling this this Nissan.
Yeah.
Fastest lap of the race, 41.2. Which isn't too far away from the quali time.
No, 1/10 only. So it was a 41.112. Paul putting some pressure on Ken Thomas. And Sander got past Ken Thomas for P6. Now he's trying to chase James Mason.
Will he have enough time? What is the gap there, Wilson, between those two?
It's 2.4. But James Mason is making a couple of mistakes, so I
Yeah, it has
reckon.
looked a bit shaky at times, so yeah, it's not over. I mean, it's strange saying someone's looked shaky when they're performing really well and they're in P5. But yeah, the mistakes have creeped in. We have a car around. I think that's Laxalde in a 211 Ferrari and Colmos coming together potentially. Could be no. I don't think Colmos was involved. I think that was just driver error from the 211 Ferrari.
Yep.
Have a safe opportunity to rejoin now. And now we're at 1.1 seconds. Williams really starting to take that time out of Baslia.
There's going to be 2 laps left when they cross the line. So it's going to be close for Baslia, who needs to hit this.
I think Baslia had to take a bit of a evasive drive in there from the incident that happened in front of him and has lost a couple of attempts more than he would have liked due to that. So that's going to put him right in the danger zone now. And there's going to be no chance if that Nissan gets on the rear of Baslia come the final corner.
There's a three-way fight for P7 with Ken Thomas backing up Paul and Hatton.
If you keep me updated if anything happens there, I will stay on board with M. Williams as he looks to get himself on the podium for round 1.
And Baslia not saying his last words, gaining some time in sector 2.
4 attempts that lap. 2 laps to go, I believe.
Yes, 2 laps to go. Yeah. You have to go to Hatton and Paul. Maybe we'll try the launch. They're quite close. Just for a second.
They have traffic ahead of them. It's Cherry Moore at the blue flag. Warner is only 1.3. Whereas Warner has now reached the shot, so he's been held up, I think, by the blue flag of Cherry Moore. Baslia is now 1.3 seconds off of Levi Warner.
It's going to
So
be
one
very
mistake
close
here
to the end.
could be incredibly costly for all involved. Cherry Moore, that's good sportsmanship there from the 186. Cherry Moore understands these boys are all in a freeway fight. Promptly gets himself out of the way. Freeman looks to about to start his final lap.
Let's final lap in the race.
Give it all you can.
Going to be tight. If Williams does a great lap, he will have an opportunity in the hairpin in sector 2.
I mean, will he get impatient and go for it now? I'm not sure what the speed
He's too
differential
far
is
away.
coming down here. It's 0.6 currently. I'm not sure. The DRS flap is open. Yeah, he might need one more lap, you know, because it's gonna.
But Warner can back them up, maybe. We'll see if he makes a mistake.
It's going to be an audacious dive, I think, from Matt if he's going to want this P3.
Yeah, so
And now
Levi
he's got
got held up
to
in sector
contend
1
with.
and 2. Losing enough time.
Crazy. After 59 minutes and 40 seconds of racing, P2, P3 and P4
And James
are
Mason,
separated by less than a second.
I can interrupt you to keep you updated on the backpack. James
Yep.
Mason losing a lot of places. Losing places to Verstager, to Ken Thomas, to Paul. And now under pressure for
Wonder what's happened there. I
Bosjan.
wonder if it was that same corner again one last time. Just throwing a spanner in Mason's race. Who knows?
Hatton losing a couple of places as well from that fight. Mason trying to recover, but Paul stays ahead. It's a very close fight.
The leader has finished the race.
That's
I have
Will
to say
Freeman.
well done to Will Freeman
Yep.
for winning the race. GG
Very
to
calm
him.
race. Great consistency all race. Did what he needed to do. And here comes Matt.
It's very good, very fast.
Nah,
Mason round. Mason is round. Boss is
rough from
round.
Matt.
And Hatton has been hit. As
Matt went for an audacious send on the last corner. Absolutely audacious. Didn't pull it off. He was always going to do that. So Warner holds on for P2 after a dominant win for Will Freeman. Baslia with a great drive in his famed Ferrari.
and you couldn't
back
go
into
to
P3.
Mason. Go on Mason's story because Spencer Brown is trying to pick up another place.
It's all kicking off here. 2 corners to go.
I was trying to keep you updated on the
Sorry, my friend.
on the middle
Oh,
patch, and
very
I didn't
close.
even see.
So they will hold position. So spicy all round. Spicy finish to round 1. A very difficult opening race of the season at Kyalami. But I think most drivers there could feel proud of what they've done. It's a very interesting race. Great to watch. Mostly clean throughout there. So that's to round that up, because I've got to go to work in 20 minutes. Will Freeman takes P1. Great performance him. That's Warner taking P2. Niels Baslia returning to P3. Williams takes P4. After a great recovery drive from the drive-through. Verstager, Ken, Thomas, Pole, Eric, Hatton, Smith and Boss follow. That will run out your top 10.
Intense race, battles throughout the field, throughout the race. So it was very nice opening round. We'll hope to have the same thing next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind 9 more races like that, thank you. So next week we head to Donington Park, another tough technical track. That'll be a 60-minute race.
Watch out, James Mason. The grass is closer there.
Yeah, a lot more grass there, but I'm sure he'll be all right. It's, other than those few mistakes, he was looking at a very high finish today. Just couldn't quite put it all together. But yeah, close racing throughout many packs of the race, and that's what we want to see here. Remember, guys, we're all doing this for fun. Treat others how you want to be treated. Race hard, race fair. Thank you very much for joining us at Fatch GT for the opening round, and we'll see you all next Monday. Thank you, Wilson, for joining me in the booth.
With
It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much.
Let's see you next time.
Yeah, congratulations to Friedman, Warner, and Baslia on their top 3 on their podiums. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.